So there isn't any confirmed information from Bioware talking about Anthem 2.0. But if this, rumor is true, this video would definitely be discussing about what I would personally want to see in Anthem 2.0, and I'm sure what the community would love to see in this overhaul. But before we get into it, what is going on, y'all? It's your boy Gudda, and I hope you guys are having a fantastic day as always. And hope you guys are doing great. Hope all is well. Don't let anything or anyone ruin your day or anything like that. All right, so you know me, I love to keep videos short and sweet. I hate to do long videos, so I'll try to keep this one as short as possible, but without compromising any sort of vital information. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so Anthem 2.0. I really love the sound of this though. We can take a little look back in February 2019 when this game came out. We all knew that well, not new, sorry, but know the horrible results we got from this game. The game was buggy, glitchy. It had no content. It had a horrible launch. It was probably the worst launch in 2019. But talking about that, it's like kicking a dead horse, and we're not here to talk about the bad stuff that went on with Anthem. We're here to talk about the positive and the possibility of good things coming for Anthem. So here are the things that I personally want to see in Anthem 2.0, and some changes as well that they need to do. All right, so first to begin, I would love air combat. I believe if we're flying in the air, we should utilize our thrusters a little bit better. I would love to see new enemies, new mechanics with the enemies, because they also said that as the difficulty increases, the mechanics and the movement of the enemies should change. But to be honest, all of the enemies moved exactly the same on all difficulties. So I would really love to see all of the enemies, change the way that they move, and stuff like that. And I would love to see enemies that are flying, flying, and we have to go up in the air and battle them in the air. These new mechanics are really something that will be really refreshing, and I think it'll be a great addition to the game, right? Obviously, we need more content, which is the most important thing. So far, we have 4 strongholds. I would personally love to see maybe 4 more strongholds, and we do need a what's it called again? An outlaw stronghold, because we have strongholds for the other faction, but besides outlaws, I would love maybe raids. I think raids is something that we most likely need. All those strongholds are something like raids, but it's like a mini raid, and it's not all that challenging, to be honest, when you get good at the game. What else? We have a problem with earning coins in the game. That is probably my biggest problem in Anthem right now, is the way that we earn coins. And just hear me out with this. I believe that the higher difficulty you play on, well, I mostly play on GM3, so I believe as you go up in difficulty, not only that the enemies scale, but I think the rewards scale as well. And so far, what Bioware have done with GM3 is, the legendaries that they get from GM3, instead of it being power level 75, it's now power level 80. So that's kind of like an incentive, but it's not enough. I believe that we deserve way better, especially if we're doing legendary contracts. So say for a prime example, If you do a legendary contract on easy, you get 500 coins, you know, and normal will be like 800, hard will be like 1,000. GM1, which should be like 3 grand. GM2 should be like 6 grand. And GM3 should be like, 10 grand coins per legendary contract you do, because things are expensive in the store, and yet acquiring coins are so hard because you can only get coins through doing weeklies and daily challenges. I was speaking to a guy, and I asked him on his personal opinion on what he would love to see in the game, and he said he would love to see something like bounties. You go to the fort and there's certain bounties you got to complete, and doing these bounties will get you new gear and stuff like that. And I believe that we should be able to get cosmetics doing these bounties and stuff like that. So he had some really great points, but the way that we acquire coin, I think it's one of my biggest problems in Anthem right now. What else?
So I'll also definitely would love to see new javelins as well. I don't know how those new javelins would be, but I personally have an idea of a new javelin. I personally would want to see a stealth javelin, like a javelin that can go invisible or something like that, or can be extra quiet and sneak up on enemies. Now I know Anthem is a game where the weapons don't have suppressors. Stealth isn't a thing in Anthem, but I believe they can probably implement something for a stealth javelin. So that's one thing I would love to see. I don't have an idea for other javelins. Maybe people would have better ideas, or maybe Bioware have something up their sleeve. I don't know, but I would love to see a stealth javelin. What else? I would love to see more crafting, for legendaries. That's a must. I think that should have been in the game a long time. So crafting of legendaries, get that god roll that you always want. I'd love to see an increase in weapons, in terms of obviously new weapons, of course, and buffs of weapons, because GM3, how should I put it? Legendary weapons were made for GM3 difficulty. It was made to, compensate for the health increase in the enemies, right? So like masterwork weapons were like made for, GM1, GM2, because those kills really good on GM1, GM2. But when you reach GM3 and you use legendary weapons, you gotta use like 2 whole magazines to kill an enemy. And that ain't right, to be honest. Yes, they recently buffed the weapons and stuff like that, but I mean, it's not enough. It still takes forever to kill an enemy with the most powerful weapon on GM3. You have to constantly be depending on priming an enemy, then using a detonator to get a combo, and that'll do like a crap ton of damage. But I'm a person, and I'm sure that a whole lot of people as well love gunplay. So we want to use our weapons a little more instead of having to prime and detonate and stuff like that. So the weapons need to be buffed a crap ton a lot. So when you're playing on GM3 and you're killing enemies with those legendary weapons, it feels, you can kill an enemy in at least half a magazine, at least. Instead of using 2 whole magazines, it'll be like half a magazine, just to make it fair, because those weapons were made for GM3, so it should be kind of, it's a balance, basically. You can't just have masterwork weapons killing GM1, GM2 enemy is pretty good, and then legendary weapons on GM3 just tickles the enemy, so there's an unbalance there, and I think that those weapons need a buff. Just my personal opinion. So I really hope that they touch on that and they do that as well. Now, I heard that they're planning on changing the engine as well. If they are planning to change the engine, I am totally down for that, because the Frostbite engine is not made for looter shooter games. It was not designed for these types of games. And Bioware actually came out and they actually admitted that they were having problems in understanding and fixing bugs with this engine. It's not an easy engine to work with, right? Now, it's not their fault that they're using the Frostbite engine, it's because, EA and blah, blah, blah. We're not going to get into that. I was always telling people that the reason why Anthem is so buggy and stuff like that is because of the engine. They can't figure it out. Frostbite engine was not designed for that. Way before Bioware even came out and say anything about it. So if they're gonna use a different engine, maybe, I don't know, the Unreal Engine 4. That engine is a great stable engine. It's a great engine. So if they want to throw out the extra cash and use that engine and they can pull it off, thus making the game more stable and easier to work with, then go for it. Do that. The only downside is that the Frostbite engine makes things look really damn good. Because, Anthem is gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. But, Unreal Engine looks really good as well, but not as good as how Frostbite makes the game look. So, it's a sacrifice. Which one you rather, a more stable game that is easier to work with, or a buggy game that is just completely hard to work with? It's up to them. The ball is in their court. So if they're changing it, I'm totally down for it. Then just do it, Bioware. Just do it. Don't think twice on it. Just do it. What else I would love to see? I would love to see when you go into the forge, you can actually see how much armor you have, like total armor, because we don't see how much electricity damage we're doing, or our electricity resistance or fire resistance, or how much total armor that we have. We need more information in the forge when we're applying, weapons and components that obviously have inscriptions. I know obviously those inscriptions give us, additional stuff, So we need more information about our javelins, what our javelins are running, because right now we're just putting on stuff and we're just applying mods and components by guess. We don't know exactly how much our armor rating is unless we pull out a calculator and calculate everything. But why must we go through all of that when they should implement that system into the game so you don't have to go through all of that? So I think they should put that in. It's a must. Let me touch up a little bit about at Fort Tarsus. I personally think that we should get the option to switch from third person to first person view at the fort. And there should be more customization for the pilot, because at the beginning of the game, you get to pick a face, or basically a character face or a model, and that's about it. We never saw our face, not even in the cinematic, nothing like that. We never saw our face besides when we're actually gonna, pick a face, and that's about it. And that sucks, so I think that they should bring in a feature where we can customize, our hair, our eyes, body shape, and stuff like that, and let us be more in the cutscene. Let us see ourselves in the cutscenes and stuff like that. And even at the fort, we can go, third-person view and see ourselves and interact with more NPCs. Speaking of NPCs too, I think they should add more people into the fort. Like there's a lot of people living in the fort, and I think we should see more NPCs at the fort. And there are a lot of like block gates and stuff like that are leading to like other people's house. I think they should unlock those paths, so we can, kind of like extend the fort, so I mean, like, these are little things that makes a difference, so make more NPCs in the game, make it busy. And talking about making it busy, also in Bastion, the open world section, it's too dead. They should put more wildlife, put more enemies, put more of enemies fighting enemies, more Ursics, more Titans all over Bastion. Bastion needs to be a bit more active. There's too much dead spots, too many, too many, so those are the things that they need to do, and I would personally love to see more of Bastion as well. If they can, like, kind of put a map expansion or something like that, I think that would be good, or maybe, the ultimate thing might be, we can probably fly to another path of, Bastion and meet other people, maybe. And for those other people, they got missions, they got these bounties, and they got all sorts of stuff, like that other section would have like another fort, maybe smaller, because I believe that we're not the only humans that exist in the world of Anthem. I believe there's much more. Following the lore too as well, I mean, should be more, so if we can get that, that'll be pretty awesome. What else? I'll also love this feature as well, where say like you're in a party, like you're teamed up and you're like the host. People that are joined onto you can actually come into your lobby, and instead of being at like the launch bay, you can actually be at the fort as well, and all of y'all would just be in y'all, the pilot, not in the javelin, but as a pilot, and y'all can walk around the fort and chill and hang out and stuff like that. I think that'll be a really refreshing feature as well. I will also love, in terms of rewards, I would also love guarantees. When we do like a certain expedition or stronghold or anything like that, I believe that anything with like a really hard challenge, if you do this on like GM3, I believe there should be a guarantee, because we can be doing something that is extremely difficult and get masterwork stuff. So all of the loot is 70% better in terms of drop rate and stuff like that. You can just deal with just a little more, like guarantees and stuff like that. The crafting of, well, right now with the Ice Tide, with the, you get these tokens and you can get a guaranteed legendary item. I think that's a really great idea too. I wish they can actually like keep it in the game for some time. I think it's a really good idea as well. Another great idea, personally, what I think will actually be like the ultimate, is if we can actually build our own javelins. I think that'll be pretty awesome. That we can actually build a mixture of javelins and allow it to do many different things, and depending on the parts that you use, the javelin would have a certain type of mobility and certain type of jump, like the ranger has double jump, the interceptor has a triple jump. It all depends on how you build that javelin. So I think build a javelin would be a pretty damn cool thing in the game. I mean, just think about it. I think that'll be pretty damn awesome. So I mean, I'm just going off of at the top of my head right now, a lot of things that I personally want to see, and they can do it. I believe Anthem, Bioware, they can pull it off. But the thing is, right, if they're doing it around the time that Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out, I think that's a bad idea because they're gonna have competition. Because everyone is saving up their money and stuff like that for that game. If I know it may sound, as if it sucks, but if they actually come out with Anthem 2.0 next year, a fully polished, rebooted Anthem, like really a really well done Anthem, I think that'll be so awesome. And if they implement some of these ideas I mentioned, if they ever see this video, but if they do implement these things and make this game really damn great, I think Anthem would have an amazing comeback. Like, it'll be like the most hated game to the most loved game. That's just me. But waiting for another whole year, it might kill their player base, unless they come up with something with, like, they continue adding more stuff, more seasonal events and stuff like that. I think that'll kind of, hold off on Anthem. I think it'll kind of sustain Anthem for the while, because canceling the roadmap is probably one of the biggest mistakes that they ever done. I mean, the game was already in a bad position already. The most they could have done was continue with the roadmap instead of taking it out and leaving players, stranded with nothing. And although we're getting these seasonal events like the Ice Tide, Catalysm, Season of Skulls, all of those were absolutely great, and they need to keep up with it. But the thing is, it's kind of considered as filler, filler content, because that's what it basically is. I mean, it's fun filler content, but how long can they do the filler content? How long players are gonna, withstand this? I mean, I'm cool with it. I'm still having fun with the game. I still play basically every day, so I don't know. They gotta figure it out, Yet I want this overhaul to be done, kind of fast, but I don't want them to rush it. I want them to perfect it. But if they rush it, it's not going to be good. And I want them to get everything that they're going to implement correctly. And if they do that, this game is going to be back on its feet. So I mean, there's a lot more ideas too as well that other people have great ideas. What you can do is share it down in the comments below. If you guys want, you can share this video out. Hopefully the devs can see it and maybe take a note from it. I don't know, but this video is already like 23 minutes long. I don't want to make the video any longer than it should be. So just a little recap of everything. Increase more content, increase weapon damage, add new stuff. Oh, one more thing I completely forgot. Right, this is something that I think we need, is like a photo mode. I think a photo mode would be awesome, or not just a photo mode, but a cinematic mode where you can basically go into that mode where I don't know if it would have enemies. Let's say like you can do it into the fort or bastion. You go into that mode and you have all these cinematic tools that you can use. You'll have like depth of field, field of view. You can zoom in, zoom out, and you can take like shots of your javelin. You can take cinematic shots of your javelin moving, flying through the sky. You can zoom in, zoom out. I already said that. You can add different filters, different effects. These little things, I think it should be mandatory for all games, all modern games, to come with this feature, because we want to take some nice shots of our javelins. Now, there is a small kind of cinematic thing that Anthem have when you leave your javelin idle for like probably about a minute or something like that. You go into kind of cinematic mode. It takes off your HUD and it focuses on your javelin, and you can use the right analog stick or whatever you're using to look around your javelin. But that's about it you can do. You can't really zoom in, zoom out, take fancy shots of your javelin and take some shots of the environment itself and make some cinematic pictures or cinematic videos. You know, I think this will be great because there are content creators out there like myself that wants to do cinematic films for a game like this, and that's what my channel is mainly about. So if they implement these things, people would love it. I would love to see people taking shots of their javelin flying through the air or something like that. These are things that they're supposed to add, and it'll just make the game overall better. So Bioware, please add these features. All right, I think it'll be pretty awesome. So anyway, back to the recap of the video. Yeah, better loot, more content, new javelins, more quality of life stuff, whatever you guys can throw in there. Crafting, obviously the photo mode, all these stuff. And please, Bioware, take your time with the game. Don't rush it. Take your time with the game. If you guys gotta do over a new engine, anything like that, do it. Whatever is necessary to make the game better. I have no problem in waiting for a fully polished game. No problem with that. And one more thing too, it may sound kind of selfish in a way, but I personally feel, and a lot of other people feel as well, as a founder, someone who pre-ordered the Legion of Dawn back in 2018 around November, December, because I pre-ordered the game. I personally think that we as the founders deserve something kind of exclusive, something that'll make us stand out, because you all made the Legion of Dawn a DLC. That means everybody could have gotten everything. That means there was no reason for anybody to really pre-order the game. I believe as a founder, we're supposed to have something exclusive that no one can really get. We just have it because it stands that we funded the game, basically. It's like Warframe. If you guys ever play Warframe, you guys would know on Warframe PC, they have Excalibur Prime. And Excalibur Prime is a Warframe that no one cannot get ever in the game. Only the people that founded, only founders of the game on PC, because Warframe originally came out on PC, only those people have that Warframe. So I think we deserve to at least have something that no one would have, that's exclusive only to the people that funded the game. That's just personally me, because I felt that I shouldn't have just pre-ordered the game. I could have just waited and upgraded Legion of Dawn after, something like that. And I didn't think that Bioware, I didn't think that they think about it or thought it out properly. I didn't think so, but hopefully they can put something. I don't know if they would ever do it. I don't know. It's just something that a lot of people, including myself, have talked about. So alright guys, that's about it. That wraps up this long, very long video. I'm totally sorry for it, but I had was to get my points out. So hope you guys have a fantastic day. Hope you guys enjoy the video. There are much more videos that I have that'll be coming out. I am sorry that it's been 2 weeks and I haven't uploaded. I humbly apologize for that. I'm just waiting for new armor sets to drop so I can do some more fashion forge for you guys, So thank you so much guys for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bioware, I hope you guys listen if you guys ever see this video. For the viewers, I don't usually say this, but share the video out, because I really want the developers to see this. So share it out. I don't usually say share, like, and subscribe. I don't say that bullcrap, but at least this video, I really want the devs to see it. So feel free to share it out and hopefully get some attention, just for the devs' sake. Okay, so hope you guys have a fantastic day. And also, if you're trying to get in contact with me, my Twitter links are in the description. Also Discord, that is the fastest way to get in contact with me if you want to have a chat with me and anything like that. Feel free, you can DM me on Discord or Twitter, anything that you feel like.
All right, so hope you guys have a fantastic day, and thank you guys so much for watching if you reached to the end. And I got more content for you guys coming, so see you later.